The news day continues here on One News Now Business. I'm Diego Castro. Here are the biggest stories on the economic and corporate fronts. The Development Budget Coordination Committee has lowered its inflation expectations for this year. In its latest forecast, the DBCC now expects inflation to fall between 5 to 6%. The forecast range is lower than the 5 to 7% projected in April. On the other hand, the DBCC maintained its inflation assumption of 2 to 4% for 2024 to 2028. The DBCC trimmed its inflation expectations for this year after 4 straight months of decline, with the latest figure recorded at 6.1% in May. The committee also kept its growth targets of 6 to 7% and 6.5 to 8% for 2023 and 2024 to 2028 respectively. According to the DBCC, the projections have already taken into account risks posed by El Nino, as well as global trade tensions and value chain disruptions. The government's gross borrowings rose by 28% in April. The Treasury Bureau reported that borrowings jumped to nearly 130 billion pesos in April from 101 billion pesos in the same month a year earlier. Borrowings from local lenders soared by 45%, while that of external debt inched down by 3%. RCBC Chief Economist Michael Ricafort said elevated inflation increased the government's expenditures and the need to borrow money. In other news, the Albay provincial government reports that over 13,000 residents or almost 7,000 families have been evacuated amid the intensifying unrest of the Mayon volcano. Authorities say they are now anticipating the worst-case scenario, which is the escalation of the alert level from 3 to 4 or the possibility of a hazardous eruption. Classrooms in San Jose Elementary School are now filled to the brim with evacuees. Some of them are starting to get sick, as each classroom is housing at least 10 families. Aside from congestion, evacuees are also concerned over the threat of lahar flow from Mayon, especially as monsoon rains intensify. On Sunday night, PHIVOLCS observed lava flow from the summit of Mount Mayon. The Mayon illuminated the night sky on Sunday as hot lava blocks slid down the volcano slopes. As of yesterday, PHIVOLCS reported at least 3 volcanic earthquakes and 164 rockfall events. PHIVOLCS also recorded at least 2 pyroclastic density currents, which is composed of hot ashes, shattered lava, and hot volcanic gases that rapidly flow from the volcano's crater. The volcano's alert level now has a higher possibility of being raised to 4.
Mas higher na po yung probability na magkaroon ng explosive eruption. We're hoping na hanggang dito lang, ganyan lang yung behavior niya, pero still, maganda na po yun na nagpa-evacuate na tayo.
Despite this, the Civil Aviation Authority says operations of the Bicol International Airport remain normal. No flight cancellations have been declared in relation to the unrest of the Mayon volcano, but flying of any aircraft close to the volcano is still prohibited. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. Heads up, motorists. Oil companies will be implementing increases in fuel prices this week. Effective tomorrow, June 30, diesel will be pricier by 1 peso and 40 centavos per liter. Gasoline, on the other hand, will see a price hike of 1 peso and 20 centavos per liter. The increase in fuel prices comes after a week of rollbacks. President Bongbong Marcos vows that his government will work to nurture and develop the hard-earned freedoms and opportunities gained after the country's independence. After kicking off this year's Independence Day celebration, the president headed to Quirino Grandstand for the parade. The program showcased the AFP's assets to demonstrate the country's enhanced territorial defense capability. Among military assets that took the spotlight were ground-based air defense systems and autonomous truck-mounted self-propelled artillery. In the same program, the president delivered his Independence Day speech. Marcos Jr. says while the country has been liberated from colonizers 125 years ago, the Philippines still has a, quote, daunting journey ahead. According to the president, the Filipino strife does not end with the proclamation of independence in 1898, as Filipinos must still break free of the shackles of poverty and inequality. For this reason, the president vowed to implement the Philippine Development Plan and other policies to create a conducive environment that enables Filipinos to exercise true human freedom.
It is said that there are manifold unfreedoms prevailing in society that stand in the way of human development. These are the corrosive political and social conditions that make the nation not as free as we would like to profess and to believe, such as poverty, inadequate economic opportunities, disabling rather than enabling living conditions, inequality, and apathy. We will strive to remove the unfreedoms. We will aim to feed the hungry, free the bound, and banish poverty. These are primordial moral and existential imperatives that are laid upon your government.
Former Senator Rodolfo Biazon has passed away at the age of 88. The news was confirmed in a Facebook post by his son, Muntinlupa City Mayor Rufy Biazon. Mayor Biazon said his father had been diagnosed with lung cancer and caught pneumonia twice this year. The veteran lawmaker became the first Philippine Military Academy alumnus to be elected as a senator. Former Senator Biazon had also served as Chief of Staff of the Armed Forces of the Philippines before joining politics. The Toll Regulatory Board has approved the toll rate hikes for the North Luzon Expressway set to take effect this Thursday or June 15. NLEX is hiking its toll rates for the open system to 69 pesos for Class 1 vehicles or regular cars and SUVs, an increase of 7 pesos. For Class 2 vehicles or buses and small trucks, toll fees will increase by 17 pesos to a total of 172 pesos. And for Class 3 vehicles or large trucks, fees will climb by 19 pesos to 206 pesos. The open system is from Metro Manila in the cities of Navotas, Valenzuela, and Caloocan to Marilao, Bulacan. Meanwhile, those traveling end-to-end from Metro Manila and Mabalacat City will pay an additional 33 pesos for Class 1 vehicles, bringing the total to 332 pesos. Class 2 vehicles will see an 81 peso increase when traveling end-to-end of the NLEX, while rates for Class 3 vehicles will climb by 98 pesos. Aside from these, the TRB also approved a 36 centavo increase per kilometer for the closed system, which covers the portion between Bocaue, Bulacan, and Santa Ines, Mabalacat City, Pampanga, including Subic, Tipo. NLEX Corporation says the new rates are part of their authorized periodic adjustments. TRB allowed NLEX to collect this year the fourth and last tranche of its 2012 and 2014 periodic adjustments and half of the 2018 and 2020 increases to help, quote, curb the existing inflationary situation and cushion their impact on the users of the expressway. Meralco has announced an increase in power rates for the June billing period. At least 4 centavos will be added per kilowatt hour, bringing the overall electricity rate to 11 pesos and 9 centavos per kilowatt hour. This was driven by the completion of distribution-related refunds. The upward adjustment translates to an increase of around 84 pesos for residential customers consuming 200 kilowatt hours. Meralco noted, though, that the power rates may decrease amid the rainy season.
Usually ho yung consumption peaks from March to June, but starting July and this early, the weather forecaster Pag-asa already announced that we are in the rainy season. So you will also similarly see consumption patterns go lower compared to the summer months.
The Philippines can still sign its planned free trade agreement with South Korea this year. Trade Secretary Alfredo Pascual says if his conversation with his South Korean counterpart was any indicator, the signing of the FTA is still feasible. Secretary Pascual says the legal review of the treaty's text has been completed. The trade chief also says he sought the president's authorization to sign the deal. The trade chief's statement comes after the initial timetable was called into doubt. Last year, the DTI set a signing target of the first quarter of 2023, before later announcing that the signing could happen in June or July. Commuters may still avail of free train rides in Metro Manila today. In separate statements, LRT Lines 1 and 2 and the MRT-3 said they will offer free rides during rush hours. This covers train trips from 7 and 9 in the morning earlier and 5 p.m. to 7 in the evening later today. Rail management said this is their way to commemorate the country's 125th Independence Day. And those are the top business stories of the hour. I'm Diego Castro. Join us again at 2 p.m. We are One News, all sides, all the time.